Jamaican government is getting 20 grand. I'm not sure, I can't quite remember if it's pounds or dollars, for each individual that's deported to Jamaica.
Up to 50 people are spending their final hours in the UK. This after years, and in some cases, decades, in a country they have called home. They'll be leaving on the first deportation charter flight to the Caribbean since the Windrush scandal first broke.
Back on Jamaican soil, 29 people arrived home from the UK on the first known deportation flight in 2 years. 21 others were removed from the list hours before the chartered flight left at minutes to 8 a.m. UK time. They should have landed around midday Jamaica time, so we went to meet them.
Yes, we're fighting the fight a different way, but some people need to understand what's going on. You ask the question, are the Jamaican government getting money? The Jamaican government is getting 20 grand. I'm not sure, I can't quite remember if it's pounds or dollars, for each individual that's deported to Jamaica.
Say that again.
The Jamaican government is getting 20 grand for each individual that's deported to Jamaica. We once wrote to Andrew Holness and asked him to turn a flight back. His response was, there's an agreement between the two countries that's been signed, and he cannot break that agreement. It was in place with the previous government. She signed the agreement with the British government that they pay. Now, I am particularly disgusted because even if people had committed heinous crime and was sent home, what are they doing with the money? The people get there and they put them out in the streets. Why? And even more disgraceful, they show what side they stand on by calling the armed police on victims. The people who were in the High Commissioner today were people who have families within the detention center, and they went in peacefully to have a conversation with them. When they asked them to leave, what did they say? We will press the panic button if you don't leave, knowing full well that armed police are going to turn up. And that's exactly what happened. And I knew that was what was going to happen. I knew that coming out here and shouting and screaming, they know how we feel. They need to be held to account. This thing could be turned around. I personally, single-handedly, they put people on the plane and had to take them off because of the way I challenged them. So it can be done amongst our people. I don't understand why they're begging these people. They've shown their true colors.
Do you know any personal cases of some of the individuals that they're planning on deporting?
Not current, but I've worked with past cases. I've spoken to families today who's been here for 20 years. I spoke to a woman whose child was born here and being deported.
Wow. Born here?
Born in the UK and being deported. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. We're talking about immigration status. They're British born. But it doesn't surprise me because people who were born, and I'm sure a lot of those who the flights planned for were born in a British colony. I can guarantee you they were born in a British colony. So I don't understand the logic of it.
I respect on.
All right,
Thank you.
Why are you deporting people? We hear about deportation flights to Jamaica this week, when you have detained up to 50 black British residents and given them open window removal notice. Why are you deporting them, given that this review is not reported and there's been no compensation? How can you be confident that you're not making the same mistakes? Movement for Justice is working with 26 of those who risk removal. 13 first came to the UK as children. 9 came under the age of 10. 11 people have indefinite leave to remain. Another has a British passport. 36 British children will have their passports taken away by this charter flight. Or have their parents, taken away by this charter flight. Once enslaved, then colonised and now repatriated? Why do you say that these children should live without their parents? Why do you say that the families of black British people who have been killed by your department's incompetence, that this is acceptable? That is what happens. We are now 20 years on from the Macpherson Review, which found institutional racism in this country. I asked the Home Secretary, why is it that still in this country black lives matter less?